Lie awake in the morning with a light upon her skin. Coffee cup before the day begins. Don't go, stay a while. We'll slow it all the way back down. Time is still and there's nowhere to be. Birds are talking outside, giving space for the words we hold inside to come out. So stay a while, we'll slow it all the way back down. To this moment, watch the sunlight pouring, keep it like a picture frame. So stay a while and don't go, 'cause we got time, we'll slow it all the way back. Place where we can go and be alone. So come away with me, nobody has to know where we gonna go. I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me, to run away with me. Don't tell your friends, but let them know we're safe later on. The road's calling, sun on our skin, sleeping under stars when it's gone. I was just calling to see if you're free to run away with me, to run away with me, to run away with me.
う